Okay, let's talk about plugging your trailer into shore power. So, all the trailers come with a 30 amp outlet or plug here. We give you a 30 to 15 amp adapter. That way you can plug the trailer into a regular 120 outlet. It's still all 120 volt. This isn't a 220, 240 volt outlet or plug. Anyways, but what some people get the struggle with is they want to plug into a house. You can't run your air conditioner using the adapter, and then we get phone calls where people are trying to run their ceramic heaters plugged in off of these. There's just not enough power running through a 15 amp circuit. So if you would need a designated 30 amp outlet to plug into to get full benefits of the trailer. The 15 amp will let you run pretty much everything in the trailer except your air conditioner. So but keep in mind, if your batteries need charging, that's a fairly good load on the system when it's charging the batteries. Anyways, so we're going to use this setup today to show you plugging in the trailer. We want to show you too, as an example, we've got the battery disconnect turned off. So assuming we've got no battery power, nothing is live in the trailer, and we're going to plug it in. But in doing so, we're going to tie in, if you've got the optional EMS unit, surge protector, electrical management system. So we want to show you how this works. Essentially plugging in the trailer, if you don't have it, plugging in the trailer, you just right away get power and everything comes to life. With the EMS unit, it has a delay to protect the system. So we're going to zoom in on the panel here. So you'll typically see this is mounted down in the seat benches. So I'm going to plug it in. What I want you to see is right away you'll see a little dot in the back corner here and a blank screen, and there's about a 3-second delay, and then you'll see the number scrolling across. So let's look for that as I plug it in. There's the light and there's the systems come to life here. So it's now, even though we have a delay, it's already read the power. It knows, it's happy with the power. So what we're looking at is, here's the error code, E00, 0 meaning no errors. We've got, it's showing our voltage, 124 volts, 60 hertz, and then how many amps the trailer is using, which is 0 because it hasn't let power in yet. So you see the little flashing light in the corner, that's our countdown indicator. So we tell everybody it's got a 3-minute delay. Realistically, it's somewhere around 2.5 minutes, but basically if you give it 3 minutes, it's easy number to think about. So what we always want you to do, lots of times you'll get to a campsite, and they've got the most common failures at a campsite with power hookup is they've got a bad ground or they've got reverse polarity. Those are the two most common error codes that you're going to see. And when you talk to the camp host or the campground people, they'll say, well, somebody was in here last night and everything worked fine. It all works fine, but they didn't have one of these. So this is detecting it's not happy with the power. So essentially when you plug in, you're going to read this right away. If you don't see an E0, that's the most important thing you're looking for, you're not going to get power. So at that point, don't go unhooking, getting all set up. Try and figure out your power source first. In a lot of cases, the campground will say, move over to the next site. If you've spent 20 minutes or half an hour getting all set up and you still don't have power, you've got to do it all over again. So again, we're still in delay mode. Basically, we're going to hear some beeps and the light come on. There we go. So essentially everything in the trailer works. All of your 120 volt outlets work. Everything 12 volt works because we're now converting energy to 12 volt. All of your lights are 12 volt. Keep in mind, we still haven't turned the battery on, so everything is working without battery power. So now if we look at the unit, the only thing that's really changed is we're seeing 1 amp. There. So what that is there's really nothing 120 volt on. It's the power center is using an amp to convert the 12 volt to 12 volts. So let's say you turn your electric water heater on. That's a 12 amp draw. You'll right away see an additional 12 amps being used in the trailer. So again, going back here, this is really purely information. There's nothing to do here. It does have a bypass. Let's talk about that for a minute. So if we zoom in, I'm just going to hit bypass. You're going to see it essentially is off. We never want it turned off. It's not doing its job when it's turned off. You've essentially bypassed it. There is one time when you need to bypass it. If you intend to use a generator while you're out dry camping, this system, most generators don't have a proper earth ground, so it'll come up as a ground fault error and it won't let the power in. So you need to turn it off, bypass it, and trust the generator, and away you go. What you need to remember though is when you're done with the generator, switch it back on so that when you come into town and you plug in, it's in protect mode. So key points, 3-minute delay. This unit is mounted underneath the seat, so not too accessible. However, looking at the top of it, these are the error codes that, the explanation of the error codes. E0 meaning, it's normal, no errors. In your owner's package, you'll find the manual that comes with the EMS unit, and they've included a little card with a cheat sheet. It's a good idea to maybe take this out and maybe tape it to the inside of your cabinet door for quick access to see what's going on. So the common phone call that we get, people get to a campground, they plug in. Again, we've talked about this is doing its job, it's showing an error code, but people forget about this little box down in the bench seat and they right away phone us. Just to show you what we've got here as an example, the battery is turned on, which is normal. We want that battery switch on all the time while you're using it. I'm going to unplug it. There's no power, but our battery is still powering everything 12 volts. So the lights work, furnace works, pump works, all of that. However, your microwave won't work. Your fridge won't switch over to AC. Air conditioner doesn't work. None of the 120 volt things work. Here's where people get confused. They'll switch on the inverter. Again, that's only when you're dry camping. Don't use the inverter to make up for that. You just need to remember, look at this little box here. You're liable to see an E1, E2 error code. It's just not letting power in. So don't switch it off, figure out what's going wrong with it. Lots of times we have to try and troubleshoot with you of, do you have the EMS unit, what's it reading, and people are confused. What are we looking for? So again, this is the first thing you want to be looking for whenever you plug in. Again, you're gonna plug it in, and right away you should see, you're always looking for E0. If you've got an E0, give it 3 minutes, power will come on. If it's not coming on, you see an E0, well, now go to the breakers in the trailer or something like that, but that's pretty rare that that's the case.